and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new around here, subscribe, drop this video a like, and get involved in the comment section down below. So, you Villa fans, the positivity has been absolutely tremendous. And I've got to say, it's probably been the most positive place to be doing this podcast we have ever been involved in. So, I want to say thank you for watching, because the views are phenomenal. The comments, the interaction, the positivity, it is all there. So thanks for making what I'm doing at the minute a whole lot easier, because when you guys are positive and it's refreshing to read your positivity, my mood changes and everything like that. So it's been class. So since last Thursday night, it's been like a roller coaster, because we've had a bit of everything. So I've loved creating this content for you. And if we can get to that magic number, 10K, as quick as possible, then it's just going to be so good for me, because I'm going to try and do something a bit different with the channel as well, and create a lot more content. So there's a lot more coming from me. There's a lot more coming from this channel. So like I say, if you can get us there, the better, really. So what I said after the live stream was that in the predicted lineup, I would go in more in depth into Unai Emery's system, but I scrapped that. As soon as I went off that live stream, I was watching videos. I had my head involved in books and reading articles. And so I created the Aston Villa Unai Emery tactics episode. So if you've not seen it, go back and watch it. It really talks about some of the key characteristics of what an Unai Emery side will look like. I talk about a little bit like what he will be doing in and around the team, what he'll do off the football pitch. And we really looked at the Villarreal system. So I tried to implement the way in which he works at Villarreal, what he could potentially be doing at Aston Villa. We also know that Emery loves a 4-2-3-1 system, so he could revert back to what we saw at Seville and do something similar to that with Villa. So it's really going to be interesting to see which direction that he does go in. A couple of things that I didn't mention on the tactics episode is that the 4-4-2 system does generally have characteristics of a 4-2-3-1 as well. So the two do merge similar. So it is sort of a crossover between the two formations. I did put Ollie Watkins on the left. Now, when I thought about it, when I came off air, I thought we could have put Jacob Ramsey there, playing in sort of number 10/half winger role. He could flourish there. And then that would allow you to put Watkins, Ings, or Buendia, Ings, or whatever you want to go with up top. Or he could move the whole thing around a little bit, and what you see on the right-hand side is what you'd see on the left-hand side, with Luca Dean predominantly going more further forward, with Bailey on the left-hand side, which a lot of you were calling in the comment section. So you can see a lot of different things, but it's going to be one of them that we don't know till he's here. He's not even at Bodymore yet. So yeah, sticking on Unai Emery, I've read that he's going to be intensely watching the two United games, one in the Europa League and the other one, their league game. So Emery is going to have an eagle eye on those two fixtures. And that is like one of the other things that's really important about him. He watches everything to the minute detail. So it's all right setting the team up to look like what it should look like, but it's what they're going to be doing on the football pitch, which is the most important part, which is why we've got this tactical genius at the football club. The video analysis room is going to need to have been dusted off of them cobwebs, because I don't think that video analysis room is ever going to be used as much as what it's going to be used for Emery. You know, I've read that there's been players that have fell asleep in his meetings, that they've gone that in depth, but I think these players are going to have a huge wake-up call come next week. I think what they're going to be doing on the football pitch in training is going to be completely different. I think it's going to be an eye-opener to what happens on a match day when they are looking at what the opposition team are going to be doing and what is being set out for our players to be doing as well. So it's going to be a culture change. It's what's needed. And I think yeah, they're going to be in for a busy couple of weeks with learning to adapt to Unai Emery's system, because they're not going to have seen anything like what they'll have seen come the start of next week. And I am really, really excited for it. So I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him with that scarf. I can't wait to see his presser. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Newcastle are up next. We did our match preview, so be sure to go and check that one out. It's going to be a really difficult game. As we know, we've only had 2 away wins there in the Premier League era. They're in fantastic form. They're playing really well. They've got belief. So I see it being a really difficult game. Gomes, his quality. Jolinton, now he's in midfield. What a tactical move that was by Eddie Howe. I think that was fantastic. But we're Villa fans, and we've got to believe that we can go there and get something from the game. Our performance against Brentford was tremendous. We blew them apart. So it will be a different type of game that they will want to get on the front foot. I'm sure there will be a little bit of pressure early on from them, but I think if we can weather that storm, if we can start as electric as what we did against Brentford, then that'll be brilliant as well. But it will be a tough game. It's always a tough game to go there. And like I say, they are playing really well. Aaron Danks' last game in charge of Aston Villa. So, shout out to him. I think he's been picking up cones for the last year. So I think that we've really seen what he's capable of. And I did say in the preview to the Brentford game that I felt like the players would love Danks. Danks is the Villa attacking coach. And I no doubt Watkins, Ings, Bailey, Buendia, Coutinho, they're used to Danks. He's probably been, giving them confidence all the time. So that you could tell that they were really happy to play for him. So I hope he can stick around. I hope he's involved in the first team still with Unai Emery. If not, then hopefully maybe there's a massive role for him at Aston Villa, because he deserves it and he looks like a really good guy. I cut someone's hair that works for England as well, and she said that she has been involved with Danks, and she said he's a great guy and he's brilliant at what he does. So that further gives me confidence that I want him to stick around. I hope Cutler can stick around. I think he will. I think he's got a real good relationship with Emi Martinez as well. So I think that's going to be one to keep an eye on as well. But let's get stuck into it then, Villa fans. Let's have a look at the predicted lineup for Aston Villa v Newcastle. Emi Martinez in goal. Who else? We'll go with centre-back partnering of Tyrone Mings and Ezri Konsa. It's going to be interesting, captain-wise, who Emery picks. I have read and heard that I think for Arsenal, I know for Arsenal, but I'm not sure on Villarreal, maybe Villarreal as well, he let the players decide. He had a unanimous vote where the players were allowed to sort of vote. That's the wrong word. I've used unanimous. But you know what I mean. When no one knows what they're doing, but you can just vote and you don't know who you're voting for. Can't think of the word. Someone tell me that word. So they got to vote and the players picked. So I'd imagine it would be Mings or Martinez. But, it depends, because Emery's got to look at these players and pick which players he likes the look of and the ones that he doesn't like the look of, So I think that's going to be one to keep an eye on. We're hearing that Luca Dean might be back involved as well. But I think for now, after the season Ashley Young's had, he starts all the time for me, because he's playing absolutely brilliant. And Matty Cash will be starting this game as well. The double pivot, as Justin calls it, the double D pivot of Dougie Luiz and Den Donker. It was class against Brentford. It was absolutely brilliant. It worked really well. And like I said, in the tactical one, if you ever want to see what a double pivot should look like, go back and watch that, because it was brilliant. But this midfield has got a battle on their hands. Dougie Luiz, Brazilian v Bruno Gomes. That's going to be one to keep an eye on. But this midfield battle is going to be really, really important. I'm going to go with Buendia in the 10. He was really good against Brentford. I thought he had a good game. I thought he did a lot of stuff really well, the dirty stuff really well, winning the ball back quick, fast, efficiently. And then we're going to go on the left-hand side. Bailey, man. Bailey was good. Bailey was very, very good. So if Bailey can keep that up, where is Bailey? Not sure where Bailey is here. But he was really good. I really enjoyed watching Bailey. I think if he can keep that form going, then it's going to be it's going to be class, isn't it? Because we all know there's a player there. Bailey is a fantastic player. So we just need to see more of a consistently on Bailey, and he will absolutely flourish and thrive in an Aston Villa team. So with Emery watching as well, there's going to be that little bit of not added pressure, but added sort of spurring the players on to do well. That the new manager is watching. They're going to want to be all now playing for their sides. And I imagine they're all going to be so excited to play for Unai Emery. And then we're going to go with Danny Ings up top. It was nice to see Danny Ings in and amongst the goals, tapping Merchant. I mean, it weren't a tapping, to be fair, but I want to see Danny Ings scoring 5 or 6 tappings this season, because if he's knocking them tappings in, that's absolutely brilliant. So I think in this system, what we're playing on Saturday, there will be chances. We will create chances. It's important that we do the defensive work really well. And I'm just really, really excited to watch Aston Villa again, Villa fans. So that is the formation that I'm going with for this game. I want to see your formations on social media. I don't think any of those players could be dropped. I really don't, unless there's an injury to some. Then you could maybe see it. But for me, that is the strongest version of Aston Villa of what we've got going forward at the minute. We know Boubacar Kamara is back in training, so maybe we could see him coming on in this game as well. Maybe see more of McGinn in a double pivot role, or maybe coming on for Emi Buendia. We need Coutinho back in form as well, so we need to see him on a football pitch. But all in all, it's been an absolute fantastic week for Villa fans, and let's just keep that positivity going. So you'll see me, match reaction, player ratings, a debrief over the weekend as well. So plenty of content. And then we get into the Unai Emery era at Aston Villa. So subscribe, up the Villa, and speak to you all soon.